Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for coming to the channel here and checking it out. We're doing a tri-tip here, and I'm going to show you guys how I trim them up. As you can see, when you get the ones in the bag, they're either going to come trimmed or untrimmed. And this one had a lot of silver skin, and you're going to want to definitely get all that silver skin off. It is not going to be good eating, and your rub or your seasoning is not going to get on the meat there. So you can kind of see I'm just poking around at it, figuring out how I'm going to try to get all the silver skin off as much as possible without, taking any meat off. You do want to leave the fat, but there's different kinds of fat. Like you can see, I'm kind of going at the fat there, and that's because that's really not going to do too much for the meat. It just needs to go. I mean, I would say if you have a choice, I would definitely, in my opinion, I would take the fat off before I leave the silver skin on. It becomes real chewy and just not good. So you can kind of see I'm going at it there, and I don't have the best knife for this either, but it works. And if you notice the fat on the left hand side of the screen, if you look, the piece on the right looks pretty lean. And if you look at towards the left, where I'm cutting right now, you can kind of see there's a lot of marbling in the meat there, and it's going to turn out really good once it's cooked. And I think I ended up taking about 11 or 12 ounces fat off, fat and a little bit of meat when this was all trimmed up. I'd have to go back and look. It was about a 3-pound, 3.5-pound tri-tip. And it was choice. So you can just kind of see there how I'm just kind of gliding the knife on top of the meat, just trying not to dig into it at all, just trying to just basically get that thin layer of silver skin off. And anything that's loose or anything that just doesn't look like it's going to cook very well, I go ahead and trim that off. I'm not taking, you want to make sure you're not taking off any big chunks of meat. You can always cut more off, but you can't put it back. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'm getting ready to flip it over and cut the back side off, and I would get rid of all that stringy fat. There's a lot of fat there that you just don't need on this one. Yours may be different, but I would say you do want to leave the fat, but you also don't want to leave so much fat that it's not going to be very good eating. So you can kind of see there, I'm cutting off a bunch of loose, stretchy, flappy fat, and that just needs to go. You're not going to be able to do anything with that. And see, I got it all trimmed up. I'm gonna actually getting ready to weigh the weigh how much I cut off of it. Like I said, I think it was about 12 ounces, something like that. So wasn't a lot. All right, I'm getting ready to season it here, and I don't know. Sometimes I season the back, which is the fat cap, and sometimes I don't. I don't know. I guess today I did. There's a little bit on there. I rub down the meat with olive oil, which you don't have to. You can, or it's whatever you want. I rubbed it down with olive oil. I used 3 tablespoons of pepper, 1 tablespoon of garlic salt, 1 tablespoon of celery salt, and 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika. I didn't put any sugar in this rub today. I'm one of those. I don't like to put a ton of sugar because when I sear it, it seems like it burns. You can get a kind of a burnt taste, which I don't really care for. And I'm just sprinkling on medium. Nothing too heavy. Oh, and I also added 1 tablespoon of sea salt. So I went heavy on the pepper, did like a 3-to-1 to the salt. Well, it's whatever your preference is, whatever you like. So we got her all seasoned up, and we're getting ready to throw her on the pit here. So I just got it on the smoker. Starting to get dark. And of course I got the thickest part of the meat towards the fire. And you definitely don't have to worry about over smoking this meat unless you really got a bad fire going. It's only going to be on the smoker anyway for about 1.5 hours max. Probably less than that. So just I wouldn't worry about over smoking your meat. As long as you got somewhat of a decent combustion going on with your fire, it's going to be fine. Like you can see our fire here we got going. It's probably wouldn't want that exactly going if I was doing a brisket, but this is fine. I think we're getting to about the end of the cook here. I'm pulling this off at about 120 degrees, maybe a little less. And I'm going to start searing it. I'm going to do a video here soon where I'm going to cook one hot and fast, and then I'm going to cook another one like I did here. And we'll see which one's better. Alright, I'm getting ready to put my grate on, and I'm going to sear it right over the logs and smoke it with hickory and oak today. I like to use a lot of oak. not really a huge fan of the other woods, the fruit woods, but red oak, post oak, and hickory with maybe 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio of oak to hickory. I like that a lot better. I definitely hate mesquite, and if you've never cooked with mesquite, I just wouldn't. I don't know how people do it. It's just, it's never gone well for me. So here we go. We got it simmering on right over the flame there. Getting some nice caramelization on it. Getting ready to take a temperature here. That's on the ends, and of course in the center. Center's about 125 right there. I let it roll about 3 or 4 minutes after this, and then I pulled it off. The center I think got up to about 133. So now we let this rest for about 15 minutes. It's really important. Definitely don't want to cut into this until it's rested properly. And there is a certain way you want to cut this meat. You want to go against the grain. I was focusing on other things, and I kind of screwed up the cutting of it, but doesn't matter. It's fine. You can. This turned out pretty good. It was really moist. Had great caramelization on it. Had just a really good flavor. So it turned out real happy with this one. So if you've never tried a tri-tip before, I highly recommend it. Once you get it down cooking it, it'll be really delicious. If you cook it wrong, it can be very tough and dried out. You can see that just pulls apart. It's just super tender. I really appreciate you guys watching, and like I said, I'm going to make that video where I cook one hot and fast, and I'm going to cook one just like I did here, low and slow, and then reverse sear it. And we'll see if maybe I'm wasting my time slow cooking it instead of just firing up the grill and hitting it at 450. So, alright guys, thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next video.